Thank you so much, Dr. Therese. Wow.
Thank you.
Velvet voices, amazing. Thank you so much.
Why do you prefer to purchase on your wall?
Because I get all the profits.
Okay.
But I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's out there. It took 4 years to get to the point of publishing, not because it's hard to self-publish or anything like that. It was getting over myself and feeling worthy and getting my voice and getting the confidence to say, I am worth something, I have value. And so part of what I do is encourage people to write, sing, dance, whatever you do it. It's your gift, it's your way out or your way through. Mm-hmm. And writing was that for me.
Yeah. Your poem, I Am, is so powerful in really acceptance of who we are as individuals, in particular as Black women. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what inspired you to write that particular poem?
Living in rural Georgia will do some things to you. You'll see some things. I saw women that were amazing, giants. But they were only giants in my mind. They worked in the fields. They fed their families from doing washing, cleaning clothes. That's working in factories. Those are my hard-working mother, grandmother, and aunties and neighbor women. And a lot of them were largely illiterate or will never get to do the things that I do. So I feel representative of my voice and my space and where I came from. And I'm here because of those women. The world will never know who they are if I don't tell their stories. But to do that, as I said, you have no choice to be born a girl, but you have a choice to become a woman and embody that. So I represent them, and I want my art to represent who they were. So around the world, you'll get a different picture of a Southern woman than you may have gotten from literature, television, movies. Mm-hmm. Okay? I am Southern, and I was raised and taught to read by people who didn't, so I am. And it's a powerful statement. As a woman, as I said, I had to grow into that. And it's a part of gaining your confidence and taking your ranks among queens. Mm-hmm. And acting like that and taking that image around the world. And whatever we do, we represent all women. We represent each other. And I represent those women from a time that basically they would disappear in the timeline as never having existed. Mm-hmm. So I proudly say I am.
Great, thank you. So The Color Purple. I love that movie. And when I saw your promotional materials and your brand is very much of the color purple. And tonight you explained to us a little bit more about the sort of vibrational energy around the color purple. This place, the Velvet Note, is purple. Like, what a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
And the vibrational energy in this space is also in sync with what you talked about today. Can you kind of talk a little bit more about like yellow is also a very bright, vibrant color. Red is passion and power. Like, can you talk to us more a little bit about this color purple? Because it seems to me that you identify so much as a person with this. The Velvet Note is also thematic around this color purple. And I appreciate it. It's a beautiful color. And I love the movie, The Color Purple. Yes. And The Color Purple, the name of it wasn't just a name for just the movie's sake, right? There was meaning behind that. And so I don't know if you can kind of tie in and talk a little bit about The Color Purple, because I feel like it's so significant to your purple mind. And I don't want to miss anything that's important around that.
No, when I first started the show, Live Life in the Purple, like I said before, everybody assumed it was Prince. But because of the royalty and the other things, literature and, the associates with history associates purple. And I want to say that...
You mean African history?
African history, worldwide history. I mean, people would... for Romans, they would guard themselves in purple. That was for royalty. You couldn't even have that color. It was special dyes, even for purple. And almost every culture that's there, that they readily accept royalty and associate it with the colors of the hue, the deeper hues of the violets. And it's also significant because my birthstone is sapphire. Mm-hmm. And when I was a kid, I identified with blue. Mm-hmm. Indigo, I write about that. But when I was asked to come up with what would my radio show be about, I literally came up with that. I just was like, live life in the purple. Because I had been doing color research. And it stuck. It stuck. And it has evolved into so much for me. And I find meaning, we writers and poets, we find meaning in a leaf falling. I mean, how we do. Yes. But that thought, having purple to fixate on and use as a daily destination has helped me so much. When you have mental illnesses and you have disconnected thoughts and you're looking for yourself, having something to anchor you is good. If you have faith, that's wonderful. Persons in your life, but sometimes you're going to find yourself alone because everybody at some point will walk alone. Who are you going to talk to in the middle of the night? What are you going to do? What are you going to fixate on? And as I said, as a writer, sometimes even I couldn't even pray. I wrote my prayers. So that didn't help me. The depression was so thick and so heavy for me. I wear the color purple at almost every day. I think about every day. I have something on me that's, even if it's just this ring or this ring, it's something on me that's purple. And when I feel anxious or I'm about to lose it, just looking at that purple on me has calmed me down. And I remember who I am. Who I am. And I guard my gate. And I set my boundaries. And this is something I never thought I could do. I never had that. I had to go back and get those tools to do that. So thinking about color, using that as a reference point helps me stay there, and I encourage everyone to find something, several somethings, put it in your toolbox, put it in your quiver on the back, like arrows, and pull something out when you need it. Is it a thought, is it color, is it something? But stay here, stay present. The magic is in the now. And that color, that statement brings me back to the now. And I remember who I am.
I have a question for you, Mluv, regarding your writing and your activism and your promotion of recovery for mental illness. Give us a little more insight about how writing has helped you to recover and how you advocate for others to do the same.
Thank you. Very good question. When you have low self-esteem and you can't find anything about yourself, even as a child, you look for something, you're grasping for straws. And I could always write. I always did well with writing in school. It was, at that time, the only thing that I felt I did well. And it's something that comes natural to me. I did not know it was a thing. I didn't know you could actually make money with it, as I said, until I read Maya Angelou. But writing helps me to express what I can't speak. I had digestive issues for years, and the energy healer said it was because you had a blockage in your throat, and there was something you needed to say that you didn't say. And that built up to 4 years. I almost died. I couldn't eat or drink. I threw up every day for 4 years and refused help because I was thinking that it was meant for me to die. Writing helped me get out of that. Poetry helped me get out of that. I found something that was unique about me when I couldn't find it. And so writing helps me organize and think when I can't speak. Even now, if I get depressed or overwhelmed, I choke up, I can't speak, but I could always write. So that's why I advocate for writing as an expression. I advocate for the arts in all its forms. And it may change for you, but find something. But for me, writing does it for me. And I think it's even with the typing, but sometimes with this horrible handwriting, I do write. It's therapeutic. I could become someone else. And that's helpful when you find trouble in your own head space. You need a way out. And if I could just add that we're losing too many people to suicide right in front of us. They're dying right in front of our faces. I was dying in front of friends and family's faces for years, and nobody knew that because I wasn't free to speak. So writing freed me. And as I said, to get this book to production took a lot of crying, tears, and struggling because I didn't feel worthy enough. And even, it's not even over yet. It's daily, sometimes hourly, fighting the thoughts that come in and invade. And sometimes all I can do is recite my own poetry sometimes. Yeah. I've lost memories. And it was very hard to recite because the mind has, from stress. You'll lose your memories. You'll lose gaps in time sometimes. It's really, really difficult. But writing frees me, and I can become somebody else. I feel like someone else. So thank you for that question.
So finally, tell us again how we can purchase your book.
Please, MLUVWALL.com, mluvwall.com. The book is $15. And what I also ask is, because I do a lot of advocacy, I meet a lot of people, not just women, but people who are in programs or situations and they can't afford it, and they want to. And they come up to me and they bring me their writings and they want to show me, and they want this, but they can't. And they have pride. So I'd like to give books away. So what I've asked, and a few people have taken me up on it, is if they get the book, they can donate extra on the page, $5. So that another woman or someone can take this home with them and not have to worry about that. They can, and I've done that. Mm-hmm. We've given books away because of the generosity of people who support me. Or some people have donated and they don't even read. They don't even like poetry, but they want to support me, so they donate, and we have to give away. You're not going to, we're not Michelle Obama. I do want to meet you though. But this is just simply my way of navigating through the world, and I'd like to share that with folks. So please support, as I say, the Purple Tribe. You get an opportunity if you go to mluvwall.com and sign up for the newsletter, and it'll keep you abreast of all things Mluv, and then you can order the book. Thank you so much. Again, this was self-published. Friends and family, thank you so much for your support.
Oh, we have a question. I'm sorry.
I'm back.
I'm sorry.
No,
As a person who is dealing with depression, I want to know, and anxiety, is there anything that may have kept you from people talking to you that may have helped you feel better? Is there anything that they could have done to ease your burden or connect with you on a different level? Are there things that they could have said to help you?
Depression is a wild Mustang of an animal. And it's even, and in my opinion, it's even worse when trauma is the background. And that is the differing factor. I know people who are depressed. I mean, it's almost situational, right? You go to a job you hate, you're not getting paid enough, you can't afford a vacation or anything. I'm depressed at my job. But depression brought on by trauma and all the other things changes, as the studies show, even changes the shape of the brain. And prolonged living with that, untreated, can cause severe damage, internally. And so it's hard for people to hear, especially when I talk to loved ones who support people, that I can't feel you. I couldn't feel you. And they tried. The only thing that they could do, in my personal opinion, was never give up. Just don't give up. And when the person pushes you away doesn't always mean out of the room. Away could mean just sit there. It's not about you. And as parents, as lovers and spouses, we feel we have a certain authority. And so we can demand that you let me in, and it doesn't work that way. Foundationally, all I wanted to know was, am I worth something? Do you still love me? Would you still love me? That's the unspoken elephant in the room. And when friends would refuse to leave me, when I could speak, I spoke a lot about it because there was times I couldn't speak. But when I could speak, I let them know that when I'm down and when it gets dark, I want you to know that I am using every one of my resources to come back. It may not look like it. It looks like laying in the bed. But I'm trying to work and come back using my tools. And it's just, I always say empathy is the bridge. Put yourself in their position. What would you want? And be close. Just stay close. Put on they don't want to hear anything, put on a funny video, something that they love, a funny movie, and mute it. When they're ready, they'll look up. Put on soft music, something. But let them know they're not alone, because their mind is telling them they're alone, you're worthless. That's why they left. You drove them away. Look at what you're doing, and it'll just start on them, and it goes in a circular pattern. It's really a hell created inside your own body. So if I could say anything to anyone out there, have empathy.